What's up, guys? I'm Olivia.
And I'm Kyle.
And we're Drivin and Vibin.
So today we are doing another live chat, but first we're going to start talking about travel days, and it's aptly timed because today was a travel day for us.
Yes, today we left Sedona and we landed in Flagstaff. It was a little warm in Sedona where we were boondocking, and now we are tucked into the pines here. It's nice and cool. I already feel more relaxed and at peace.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, a lot of people ask us about how we plan our travels, if we plan months in advance, weeks in advance, or just day by day. And I would say we like to do more of a weekly type of schedule, but most importantly, stay flexible.
Yeah, definitely, because sometimes we get somewhere and we don't really know what to expect. And like in Sedona, the weather was a little warm midday, and we also had some really poor internet connection, which was kind of driving us crazy. Once we're so used to having like fast internet all the time, we start to get a little stir crazy when it takes forever for everything to load.
Yeah, the internet, we could stream with it. There would be slight buffering on the busy hours, but for uploading YouTube videos, it was just torturous.
Yeah, and we were like kind of down this like long graded road, which wasn't that bad, but it was kind of like bumpy to go in and out all the time just to get somewhere and do what we want. And we've been in a lot of crowded areas lately, and we just kind of wanted to disappear and just chill for a while, but we did get to meet up with a lot of friends and make some new friends while we were in Sedona.
So we got a lot of people saying hello, and we like to say hey to everybody. Thank you for joining us. Yes, this is something fun we don't normally do on YouTube, but we'd like to do it every now and again.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do these more often, just occasionally, just random things, just spur of the moment. We just decided today that we would do one, and just kind of give you a little update about what's going on in our travel day so far. Yeah,
and as far as how far we plan out, right now is different than usual because we have holiday plans, and those are like for Thanksgiving. So that's, I guess, at this point 2 weeks out, but we've had those plans for like solid for 4 months now. And those are going to be in LA. So really all of our plans kind of have that in the distance, but we kind of have to figure out how we're going to get to LA by Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so we've just had a general idea of, we know we need to be there by this time, so we're going to slowly be making our way there. So yeah, whatever comes up in between here and there.
Yeah, and like Olivia said earlier, it was burning up in Sedona, so we planned to stay in Sedona for at least a week, but we really had to alter those plans because sometimes it's just too hot to be somewhere.
Yeah, it's cool. There was a lot of really cool hikes. I think we would definitely like to go back to Sedona sometime, but we had just overnighted in Flagstaff before we got to Sedona, and it was so nice here that we kept kind of dreaming about the weather here. So we decided to just go ahead and leave a little bit earlier and hang out here.
It was only 40 miles away, but 20 degrees difference overall, so excuse me, that was awesome. And as far as also travel days are concerned and how we plan our travels, free camping is really the biggest you know, thing that we focus on whenever we're traveling. We really want to take advantage of beautiful boondocking, and here, you need to get this. Sorry, we're trying to get these do you need to go up?
I was trying to find a question that came up. I think it was about St. George and whether we liked it or not. And we did. It was a really cool little area. It was like the cleanest, prettiest, most well-maintained little town I've ever seen.
So if you have any questions, I guess, about traveling or how we do our travel days, feel free to ask those. We kind of just wanted to touch base on how we plan a travel day, but also after we talk about that, and just open it up to Q&A in general. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's see, we got, so over here we're reading the questions on the computer.
Sorry, so if we look away, it's because we're not seeing the questions on the phone, which is what we're doing the live video from. But over here we have a few people chiming in. Someone said they liked the Angel's Landing video.
Oh, thank you so much. That was an awesome hike. Olivia was sore for about 2 days after that. And yeah, it was like one of the most spectacular hikes we've ever done, though. The most spectacular so far. Can we switch over here? I'm sorry. Sweet. So, did you hike the Narrows in Zion?
We did not do it this time around, but that is definitely like on our to-do list. We just didn't plan anything out really, and we're just kind of feeling it out. And we just didn't happen to do it this time, but we do have plans to do it in the future.
Exploring the Local Life said it was 39 today.
Wow.
That sounds cold, but kind of nice too.
Yeah. Where are you guys at right now?
Yeah, let us know. Is the Ranger still running well?
Yeah, so after we got the last repair and got the clutch replaced, and what else did we have replaced?
What was it? It was some sort of, I can't even remember now.
Cylinder?
The slave cylinder, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's been running great. The one thing we noticed in Sedona, though, our AC was having a real hard time kicking on and really cooling off. And I don't know if it's just because of the heat there, or maybe it needs to, like, have the recharge, whatever. But it's been doing good.
Yeah, the AC, that's been a bummer lately, though, that it hasn't been kicking on immediately. So we'll focus on that when the weather gets hot again. How much are camping spots in national forests?
So it depends. A lot of them are free. Some of them are pay for. It just depends where you're at, I guess. Is this one run by the National Forest that we're camped in
we
now?
are in a national forest right now.
So this is a free spot in a national forest, and it's probably got like a 14-day stay limit. We saw the ranger drive by earlier, kind of keeping an eye, seeing who's here, probably taking down like license plate numbers and things like that. But it all depends. There's a lot of BLM camping that is actually paid for too if it's by a touristy area. Like out in Moab, most of the BLM camping on the Colorado River there is paid camping because it's slightly developed. They have vault toilets, and some of them have dumpsters and things like that. So sometimes, I know we talked about recently boondocking. And it can be a little confusing because that's technically still boondocking because you don't have hookups.
But you're still paying for it.
Yeah, so we kind of think of it as like dry camping because I usually associate dry camping with paying a fee to camp like I'm boondocking. And then we think of boondocking in our heads more as just free camping, no fee. And everyone has their own definition for it, and there's a lot of overlap. But, some people we all have, specifics that we think. Yeah, but dry camping and boondocking are the same thing, and sometimes you have to pay to boondock.
So, let's see. SV Tiki Cat says, have we ever been sailing? It seems like more people are doing that these days.
I have never been sailing before. I may have... No, I don't think I've ever been sailing.
We've been out on boats a lot, though.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on the bay and on the rivers and things like that, but I haven't spent much time on a sailboat ever. I don't know how to sail.
Yeah, neither do I. I took sailing lessons when I was like probably preteen. I don't retain any of that knowledge and would not trust my skills.
Yeah, and it seems cool, but it's just not something that's really like one of my interests right now.
Yeah.
I like kayaking and things like that.
So Exploring the Local Life said they were somewhere in Georgia. Elijah?
I don't know how to say that.
Neither do I. I wish you could tell us how to pronounce that.
Up in the mountains in Georgia. We'll just say that.
Yeah, Jace says, how's River?
She is very good. She's hanging out over here right now. She's chewing up a pine cone or something over there. She got to meet Leo last night, Kate and Joe's from We're the Russos dog, and they got to share a nice chicken dinner together. They were nice enough to share some drumsticks with River, and we all hung out by the fire, and it was a lot of fun. It was really cool getting to meet them in person.
It was awesome because we went on a hike earlier that day with a bunch of other people, and we didn't really get the chance to connect, but then the Russos ended up coming out to our campsite, and we all just hung out over a fire.
Yeah.
River loved eating that drumstick. It was just a raw chicken drumstick, and I didn't know dogs could do that, but man.
Yeah, we had never really fed her any raw food before. I didn't know if there was like an adjustment period where they might have to get used to it and have digestive stuff. And I don't know much about it really, but they feed their dog raw food, and he seemed to love it. And I wanted to see what River thought about it, and she loved it.
Tully Smith asks how much the camper weighs. We don't know exactly, but we're guessing around 3,000 pounds. The manual said it was 1,750 dry, but we've put a lot into it and loaded it down.
And someone earlier asked about the fiber stream and like how it handled in snow, and we've never been in the snow with it before, so we don't know, but it is not very well insulated, so it probably wouldn't do great, especially for us on the inside. It would be really chilly.
Backpacker TV says, where will we be staying this winter?
So we're going to be all around the Southwest, anywhere from Southern California, Arizona, and then we'll slowly make our way back towards Alabama at the beginning of March.
So Dennis asks, slightly crude question, but it's well worth a mention, I think. What happens if we have diarrhea in the camper and we have a composting toilet? So it's actually not a far off base question to answer.
Yeah, so it's if there's not excessive use, the composting toilet can handle it. I mean, you can go in it regardless. You'll just probably have to change it very soon because the compost will not break down the way it's supposed to if there's too much moisture in there. We've done some videos about actually being sick in the trailer. Thankfully, we've been at RV parks every time we've gotten sick, so it's been nice to have access to like the restrooms and showers there. But it's just never fun. There's no great way to handle it.
Anthony says, will we be going to the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, which is in Quartzsite, I believe February or January, I can't remember. Usually it corresponds with the Escapers Convergence as well. And we may stop by. We'll probably be in the area.
Yeah,
not
it just
sure.
depends how it lines up. We'll be there for the Escapers Convergence, and if it's around the same time, we wouldn't mind dropping by and saying hello. But if it's going to be a couple weeks after, we'll have probably moved on by then.
Yeah. Have we ever shot archery, compound bows? I've shot a few bow and arrows, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, I've practiced with some friends' bows and some just like people in my family have had like hunting bows, and we've shot targets and things like that. Can't say I was like exceptionally good or practiced at it, but it was fun.
So let's see here. What's the next meetup for you two, or where will the next meetup be?
So there could be an impromptu meetup at any time, just like here in Sedona. We didn't really know that we were going to be meeting up with friends like that and going on a group hike. But the next organized meetup we know of is going to be the Escapers Convergence in Quartzsite in January. Do you know the specific day?
I wish I knew the date. I do not know the date off the top of my head, though. So that's a bummer. I guess I could look it up right now if you want me to do that. So, but the Escapers Convergence is the perfect opportunity to really meet up. We'll be giving a talk about free camping, and it's just a great resource and great group of folks. So I'll look it up right now, though, and we'll see if anyone else.
Find another question for me to answer.
Oh, there you do. What do we do for flea and ticks?
So we have NexGuard that we give her when we're in areas that fleas and ticks are a problem, but we're in the desert so much that it's not really an issue. They just aren't out here. But there might be some in Flagstaff here with more trees and growth. I'm not really sure. But usually we don't have to give it to her until we're back in Alabama, really.
And someone asked, how do you join Escapers? Let's see.
So you can go right to their website, and it's through Escapees, so it's probably escapees.com.
Or you can go to Escapers too, and you spelt it right in the question that I saw pop up on the screen.
Yeah, and you should be able to go right to their website, and they should make it pretty easy for you to join. I think it's like $45-ish, $40 a year.
No more than 50.
And they offer some cool services like mail forwarding and different things like that.
Is the diet still plant-based, and how is it going? Exploring the Local Life says.
Yeah, so I'm still vegan. It's about a little over a year now for me. Kyle eats mostly plant-based.
Yeah.
He's more like on the pescatarian side. He still eats cheese and fish occasionally when we go out.
But anytime we eat a meal in the camper, which is quite often, it's always a vegan meal.
Yeah, and I feel good. I have a lot less inflammation than I used to, so it's been working out great for me.
And the annual bash for the Escapers, for that question earlier, is January 12th through 19th. So
anyone who was curious.
Yeah. All right, we got some more questions now. Is Steamboat on our list of places to visit?
We've heard really good things about it. I think we'll eventually end up there, but we haven't made it that way yet, and probably won't in the next few months anytime.
And Jimmy wants to know if we ever kayaked or canoed the Boundary Waters, and I can't say we have or even know what it is.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with what that is. We would love to know more about it.
What's the best gas price? I just saw that somewhere. Let's see. Where is it? Sorry, you got to scroll through. Oh my gosh. All right. What's the best gas price we found? Recently, the gas prices have been higher. When we were in Utah, they were much higher. Right now, the cheapest I've seen is $2.35 here in Flagstaff, and that's the least expensive we've seen in a while. Favorite item you must have for cooking?
I think it's my cast iron skillet. I used to not like it when I first got it, but once it became seasoned properly after enough use, I really do love it because it's so easy to clean. I love how evenly it cooks everything. Every other pot and pan I have gets really hot areas because we have the propane stove, and I just like how it distributes the heat so evenly.
Justin says, if you had one main piece of advice to tell a newbie getting ready to full-time, what would it be? And I think that's kind of challenging, but I would just say take less stuff. If you're taking what you think you need, you probably need less than that.
Yeah, definitely downsize as much as possible, and just have the attitude to go into it with an open mind and roll with the punches sort of thing. It's not always easy, but with the right attitude and just a little bit of preparedness, things can play out a lot better than it feeling like it's in the end of the world all of the time. I feel like so many things we just kind of have our minds prepared a little bit that some things are just going to happen sometimes and you can't control anything, and I think letting go of that control is very it's a lot of relief. It's liberating. It
is. Bernie B says, how are the escapees meetings organized? Are they like RTR? And I would say it's it's a very organized group that pre-plans these meetings months in advance, and it's more organized than the RTR. And
just as far as there's a lot of scheduled events planned, lots of talks, things about solar. It could be fun things like margarita contests or just social hours around the fire, potlucks, just informative things. We're going to be doing a talk about free camping and some of the ways we find free camping. So just kind of all sorts of stuff. They have stuff going on every day. They had a scavenger hunt last year that was really fun too, where we walked around the big tent area. So yeah, it's fun. It's
Tiki Cat wants to know if we have issues with smell with our composting toilet, and I would say almost never.
Yeah,
unless
occasionally
we have,
if it's ready to be changed, it'll start smelling, but usually it's not a big deal.
Living life to the max. If we can only join one group, what would we pick? And I would have to say it would be Escapers, probably.
That's how we've really met all of our friends on the road for the most part. There's probably a few exceptions, but like our best friends out here on the road, we met through Escapers, and that is priceless to me.
Holly says, would we ever consider solar, or are we sticking with a generator? And we do a combination of both. We have 200 watts of solar on our rig, and that's all we can fit. And honestly, with the AC and our fantastic fan, it gets shaded quite often, so it's not the best solar option ever. But we like to use our generator as little as possible.
Yeah, but it's definitely nice to have that generator as backup to our solar.
Yeah, for sure. Any new music in our future?
Definitely. Kyle's been playing around with some musical different ideas, and I've been writing some different lyrics, and just right now it's all kind of in the experimental, just throwing things out there phase, but we definitely have our gears turning.
Dennis wants to know if all of our meals are one-pot meals, or most of our meals one-pot meals.
Most of them. It's just easier. On our 2-burner stove, one eye is big and one's really small, so it's really hard to fit 2 pans up there at once, and it's just easier for cleanup too.
And Adam says, when are we going back to Alabama? And we plan to be back in Alabama at the beginning of March, and we'd like to spend 2 or 3 months there at least. Do we have an Instant Pot, Anthony says?
So we got an Instant Pot, and I really liked it, but we have no real storage space in the camper left. It's very minimal. So I was having to store it in the back of the truck in one of our bins, and so I was not using it that often because I would have to walk outside, open the back of the truck up, and pull it out of this bin, and then haul it back out at night after I cleaned it. So it became more of a process where I started avoiding using it as much as possible because it seemed like an ordeal. But if we ever have more space in the future, I will definitely grab that again or get a new one because I let my sister use it, and I think she's falling in love with it.
Jay says, what about a checklist of must-haves for RVing? And there are some pretty basic must-haves like wheel chocks, levelers, stuff like that. But as far as must-haves that are a little more frivolous, I would say, not frivolous even, a generator almost is a must-have, unless you have so much solar.
Some different like outdoor things like an RV mat. We actually, we created this Amazon list thing about gear for RVers. What is it called?
I don't know. You can go to drivinandvibin.com and it will say our gear, and that is all the gear we use. And you probably can go to amazon.com/drivinandvibin, and that should take you there, but best bet is to go to our website and see our tab.
We'll leave that in the comments when
that's a good idea.
The live chat's over. But we just kind of added everything that we use and enjoy and things that either are super useful or super convenient and make life more comfortable.
Joe says, any plans to head to Alaska one day?
Yes, definitely. We would love to go to Alaska. We just don't know when yet. We need to do a little bit better planning. We're probably going to stay on the East Coast next year, so maybe in 2019?
I think that might be good. Robbie says, how often do we go to the grocery stores for veggies?
About once a week.
Yeah.
We do grocery shopping once a week. We have a small like mini fridge, so that is enough produce.
BLB5 says, always with the dope hats. And I have to give a shout out to Mountain Standard.
Yeah.
So it's backwards right there. But we hooked up with them at the Telluride Blues and Brews Fest. So many times I don't have cool hats, but I've been in love with the two they gave us.
Yeah, they were one of the sponsors there, and they gave us some really cool gear to wear.
Donito Burgess says, who's the better chef? And that's pretty simple.
Kyle knows nothing.
No, I know how to fry an egg.
Yeah, he doesn't cook. He doesn't even heat up leftovers. He will live off of tortilla chips and saltines if I'm not cooking.
Yeah. Exploring the local life, they say, when will we meet up? Come back to Georgia? And I say, there's a good chance of that at the early summer or late spring next year. We would love to hang out again. All right, we should probably wrap this up pretty soon. Let me check a few of these last questions. I skipped one up here. Any plans for a bigger camper in the future? That's one we talk about a lot. But
yeah, so it's definitely on our radar. We'll eventually want to change up our rig, and nothing too big, but maybe a couple more feet. Something with a living area like a table or a dinette where we could work would be nice to have a workspace.
I really like Donito's question. He says, what's our favorite regional grocery store we've come across? And it's hands down, we know the answer to this one.
Well, I know mine. I don't know what yours is.
Winco.
Oh, yeah.
Winco is the absolute best.
Yeah.
It is so inexpensive. It's employee owned. It's open 24 hours. And it
has so many bulk foods. It's so amazing. I love those big dispensers where I can get like so much brown rice pasta and all these things that are really pricey, buying in individual packages for way cheaper, and they have good brands. They have like Bob's Red Mill everything, and it's so much cheaper in these bulk bins. So we stock up when we're there. I can get a whole cart of groceries, just overflowing veggies and everything we need for like $60, so it's awesome.
So we'll wrap it up with this last question from just around the bend. Is there anywhere that your camper would not go? Have you ever had an issue finding a place to park? And we have had such great luck with our camper because we lifted it up. We flipped the leaf spring and lifted it to give it better clearance. The size of it's great. Our truck's 4x4. So usually we can find a spot, and we've really risked it a few times.
Yeah, we get more adventurous as time goes on too. We get a little bit more brave. Like even for the solar eclipse, we brought it down this steep hill right onto a super sandy beach, and we're like, we'll get out of there, fine. And we did. It was a spot that probably no one else could have gotten to except maybe like a truck camper or a tent camper. So we've gotten into some really cool places with it. Maybe not snowy areas or something like that where we're just inexperienced driving, but it can go a lot of places. We found some cool spots.
So thank you guys so much for joining. Let's see here. All right, no more questions, I don't think. There we go. All right. It's always fun to do these, and we appreciate everyone asking questions and commenting and sticking around for the...
we appreciate all your questions. If we missed you, we're sorry. They go by really, really fast, and it's hard to scroll back up when all the new comments are coming in. So hopefully we got most of you guys' questions. If not, we will try to answer those. Oh, they'll disappear once the live chat's over.
They sure will. Oh, so yeah, if you are watching this on the rebroadcast, ask a question in the comments below, and we can answer them there.
Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in, and we will try to do more of these live chats soon. But thanks. Well, someone's mad.
Yeah,
sorry we didn't get your answer.
No, I think he's mad because some people got banned. But we just try to keep the comment section clean. It's hard to do it without a moderator. So if anyone questions or comments got taken away, we apologize. But it's just trying to keep a clean comment section.
No negativity on the Drivin and Vibin channel. Only good vibes.
So we do appreciate you, David, for hanging out. But we'll see all of y'all next time. And remember to hit that subscribe button.
Bye, guys.